right now, as you sit here listening to me, someone is stealing from you. Not your wallet, not your car, not your house. Something far more valuable. They are taking your peace, and you are helping them do it. You wake up every morning and hand over your most precious possession to people who have never contributed a single dollar to your bank account, never solved a single problem in your life, and never will. You give your peace to your boss who sees you as replaceable, to relatives who only call when they need something, to strangers on social media who do not even know your real name. You are being robbed in broad daylight, and you are holding the door open for the thieves. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who make the most money. They are the ones who refuse to give away their peace for free. Amanda Watson owned 3 businesses, drove a luxury car, and lived in a house that made her neighbors envious. She had what most people would call success. But there was something Amanda had lost along the way, something more valuable than all her possessions combined. She had lost her peace. Every morning, she woke up with her heart racing. Every night, she lay in bed with thoughts spinning like a tornado in her mind. The phone calls from demanding client, the drama from employees, the constant pressure to prove herself. It had all taken its toll. Amanda was wealthy on paper, but bankrupt in the one currency that matters most. One Tuesday morning, Amanda collapsed in her office, not from a heart attack, not from exhaustion, but from what the doctors called an anxiety crisis. As she sat in that hospital bed, looking at all the machines monitoring her vital signs, she realized something shocking. She had been robbed, not by a burglar with a mask and a gun, but by something far more dangerous. She had been robbed of her peace, and she had been the one who opened the door for the thieves. You see, there is a robbery happening right now, at this very moment, as I speak to you. It is the most common crime in the world, yet no police force investigates it. It is the theft of human peace. Every single day, millions of people wake up and voluntarily hand over their most precious possession to anyone who asks for it. They give their peace to their boss, their difficult relatives, their social media feeds, their bank account balance, and their fears about tomorrow. But here is what Amanda learned that day in the hospital, and what I want to teach you right now. Peace is not something you find. Peace is not something you achieve. Peace is something you protect. You do not go searching for peace like it is hiding somewhere in the world. You guard the peace you already have like it is the most valuable gold in your possession, because that is exactly what it is. Most people treat their peace like loose change in their pocket. They scatter it everywhere. They drop it carelessly. They hand it out to anyone who extends their hand. But wise people, successful people, people who truly understand the game of life, they treat their peace like gold bars in a vault. They know who has access to it. They know when to open the vault and when to keep it locked tight. Amanda learned this lesson the hard way. She discovered that every time she allowed someone else's emergency to become her crisis, she was making a withdrawal from her peace account. Every time she absorbed someone else's anger, she was paying a price with her own tranquility. Every time she worried about things completely outside her control, she was basically writing checks with her peace as payment. The truth that changed Amanda's life is this: your peace is your responsibility, and your responsibility alone. Nobody else can protect it for you. Nobody else can restore it for you. And most importantly, nobody else has the right to take it from you without your permission. But here is the catch. Most of us give that permission without even realizing it. When you wake up in the morning and immediately check your phone, reading news that makes your blood pressure rise, you are giving permission for your peace to be stolen. When you engage in arguments with people who have no intention of understanding your point of view, you are handing over your peace voluntarily. When you worry about what people think of your choices, your appearance, your success, or your failures, you are paying with peace for for something that has no real value. Amanda realized that she had been living like a person who leaves their front door wide open and then wonders why their house keeps getting robbed. She had no boundaries around her peace. She had no protection system in place. She had no understanding of the value of what she was losing every single day. The moment Amanda made the decision to treat her peace like gold, everything changed. She stopped answering phone calls during her designated rest time. She stopped explaining her decisions to people who had no business knowing her business. She stopped carrying other people's problems like they were her own luggage. She stopped watching news programs that filled her mind with anxiety about things she could not change. She stopped participating in conversations that drained her energy and added no value to her life. Within 6 months, Amanda's businesses became more profitable than they had ever been. Why? Because a peaceful mind makes better decisions. A protected peace allows for clearer thinking. When you are not constantly giving away your tranquility, you have more energy to focus on what truly matters. You have more wisdom to solve problems. You have more creativity to find opportunities. This is not about being selfish. This is about being wise. This is not about being cold or uncaring. This is about understanding that you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot help others if you have given away all of your peace. You cannot be your best self if you are constantly operating from a place of inner chaos and turmoil. The robbery is happening right now. The question is not whether thieves are trying to steal your peace. The question is whether you are going to keep handing it over or whether you are going to start protecting it like the gold it truly is. Robert Montgomery was worth $12 million. He owned hotels, restaurants, and rental properties across 3 states. His bank account was impressive, his investment portfolio was diversified, and his net worth was growing every year. But Robert had a problem that money could not solve. He had not slept peacefully in over 2 years. Every night, he would lie in his custom-made bed in his $1 million penthouse, staring at the ceiling until 3 or 4 in the morning. His mind was like a computer that never shut down, constantly processing, calculating, worrying, and planning. Robert's wealth meant nothing when he could not buy the one thing he needed most, a peaceful night's sleep. He had everything except the ability to rest. And the reason was simple. Robert had never learned to identify the thieves that were stealing his peace every single day. He thought his sleeplessness was just part of being successful. He believed that worry was the price of achievement. He was wrong on both counts. The first peace thief that was robbing Robert every day was other people's opinions. Robert spent enormous amounts of mental energy wondering what his competitors thought about his business moves. He worried about what his employees said about him behind his back. He lost sleep thinking about what strangers on the internet might say about his company. Robert was paying for approval with his peace. And approval is the most expensive thing you can buy because the price keeps going up and the satisfaction never lasts. Every successful person must understand this truth. Other people's opinions about you are not your business. When you make other people's thoughts about you your concern, you are giving them control over your peace. You are allowing people who do not pay your bills, who do not share your vision, who do not understand your journey to determine your level of tranquility. Robert was letting people who had never built anything significant disturb his rest with their judgments about his success. The second thief stealing Robert's peace was his past failures. Every night, his mind would replay business deals that had gone wrong, partnerships that had ended badly, and investments that had not worked out as planned. Robert was living in yesterday while trying to build tomorrow. He was carrying the weight of old mistakes into new opportunities. Your past is not your prison unless you choose to live there. Robert had turned his memory into a torture chamber instead of a learning library. Past failures are supposed to be teachers, not permanent residents in your mind. When you keep replaying your mistakes, you are not learning from them, you are being paralyzed by them. Robert's past failures were stealing his present peace and his future potential. Every moment he spent reliving old disappointments was a moment he could have spent creating new victories. The third peace thief was Robert's anxiety about the future. He would lie awake calculating worst-case scenarios that might never happen. He worried about economic crashes that might occur. He stressed about competition that might emerge. He feared losing what he had worked so hard to build. Robert was suffering today for problems that existed only in his imagination. Future anxiety is the most foolish way to spend your peace, because you are paying now for something that may never happen. You are experiencing pain for situations that exist only in your mind. Robert was living in a future that did not exist and sacrificing his present peace for imaginary troubles. The fourth and most dangerous peace thief was comparison. Robert constantly measured his success against other wealthy individuals. He would read about billionaires and feel inadequate despite his millions. He would see other business owners and question whether he was doing enough, achieving enough, growing fast enough. Comparison had turned Robert's abundance into anxiety. Comparison is the death of peace, because there will always be someone who appears to have more, to be doing better, to be achieving faster. When you measure your progress against someone else's highlight reel, you will always find reasons to be dissatisfied with your own journey. Robert had fallen into the trap of thinking that his success was only valid if it exceeded everyone else's success. These four peace thieves, other people's opinions, past failures, future anxieties, and comparison traps, were working together to rob Robert of his rest. They were stealing his ability to enjoy his success. They were taking his peace and giving him nothing valuable in return. The tragedy of Robert's story is not that he was wealthy but unhappy. The tragedy is that he thought this was normal. He believed that successful people were supposed to be stressed, worried, and sleepless. He had accepted that anxiety was the price of achievement. Society had trained Robert to be a peace donor instead of a peace protector. But here is what Robert eventually learned, and what you must understand right now. Success without peace is not success at all. Achievement without tranquility is just organized suffering. Wealth without rest is poverty in disguise. You were not designed to sacrifice your peace for your progress. You were designed to protect your peace so that your progress can be sustainable, enjoyable, and meaningful. The peace thieves are real, they are active, and they are targeting you right now. But they cannot take what you refuse to give them. Jennifer Thompson was drowning in other people's problems. As a single mother working 2 jobs, she barely had enough time for her own challenges. Yet somehow she had become the unofficial counselor, crisis manager, and emotional support system for everyone in her life. Her sister called her every night to complain about her marriage. Her co-workers dumped their workplace drama on her during lunch breaks. Her neighbors treated her like a free therapy service. Jennifer's phone rang constantly with people who needed her to listen, to advise, to worry with them, and to carry their burdens. Jennifer thought she was being helpful. She believed that being available for everyone made her a good person. But what Jennifer did not realize was that she was slowly being drained of the very thing she needed most to help anyone effectively, her peace. She was giving away her tranquility so freely that she had none left for herself or for her own children. One evening, Jennifer's 8-year-old daughter asked her a question that changed everything. "Mommy, why do you always seem so tired and worried when you talk to other people, but when it's just us, you seem different?" That innocent question from her daughter made Jennifer realize something shocking. She had been so busy being everyone else's peace donor that she had forgotten to be the guardian of her own. That night, Jennifer made a decision that seemed impossible at first, but proved to be the most liberating choice of her life. She decided to build what I call a fortress mentality around her peace. Not a fortress that keeps everyone out, but a fortress that protects what matters most while still allowing meaningful connections to flourish. Jennifer started by creating what she called her peace hours, specific times during the day when she was completely unavailable for other people's emergencies that were not truly emergencies. She turned off her phone during dinner with her children. She stopped answering calls after 9 o'clock at night. She designated Sunday afternoons as family time that no outside drama could interrupt. The first week was difficult. People were upset. Her sister accused her of being selfish. Her co-workers said she was becoming distant. But Jennifer held firm because she understood a truth that most people never learn. You cannot give what you do not have. If you give away all your peace, you have nothing left to offer anyone when they truly need you. Jennifer learned to distinguish between people who wanted to share their problems and people who wanted solutions. She realized that some people were not looking for help. They were looking for someone to join them in their misery. Jennifer stopped volunteering to be miserable with people who had no intention of improving their situations. She created boundaries that protected without isolating. When her sister called with the same marriage complaint for the 15th time, Jennifer would say, "I love you, but we've discussed this many times. Have you considered talking to a counselor who can give you professional guidance?" When co-workers approached her with workplace gossip, she would redirect the conversation. "I'm focusing on positive things today. Is there something work I can help you with?" Jennifer discovered that boundaries are not walls, they are gates. They allow the right people and the right conversations to enter while keeping out the peace thieves who come disguised as people who need help. Real emergencies too received her full attention, but manufactured drama was no longer welcome in her mental space. Within 3 months, something miraculous happened. Jennifer's own problems became easier to solve because she had mental energy to think clearly. Her relationship with her children improved because she was fully present with them instead of being mentally scattered by everyone else's issues. Her work performance increased because she was not emotionally exhausted from absorbing other people's stress. Most surprisingly, the people who truly mattered in Jennifer's life respected her boundaries and began to appreciate the quality of attention she gave them when she was available. The people who complained about her boundaries were the same people who had been taking advantage of her unlimited availability. Jennifer had learned the most important lesson about protecting peace. Being unavailable for drama makes you more available for progress, both yours and others. When Jennifer finally understood how to protect her peace, something extraordinary began to happen. Her peace started to compound, just like money in a savings account that earns interest. The more she protected it, the more she had. The more she had, the stronger she became. The stronger she became, the better her decisions got, and the better her decisions got, the more opportunities started flowing into her life. This is the secret that wealthy people understand about peace, but poor people never learn. Peace is not just something that makes you feel good. Peace is a business asset. Peace is a success multiplier. Peace is the foundation upon which all achievement is built. When you protect your peace like gold, Jennifer noticed that when she stopped making decisions from a place of stress and anxiety. She started making choices that actually worked. When she was no longer mentally exhausted from carrying everyone else's problems, she had the energy to solve her own challenges creatively. When she was no longer reacting to every crisis that someone brought to her door, she became proactive about building the life she actually wanted within 1 year. Jennifer had saved enough money to move her family into a better neighborhood. She got promoted at her primary job because her performance improved dramatically when she was not emotionally drained. She started a small online business that grew quickly because she had the mental clarity to spot an opportunity that stressed people miss every day. But the most important change was not financial, it was relational. Jennifer's children began to thrive because they finally had a mother who was mentally present with them. Her relationships with family and friends became deeper because the interactions were based on genuine connection rather than crisis management. Even her ex-husband noticed the change and began treating her with more respect. This is what happens when you live by the gold standard of inner strength. You become magnetic to positive people and opportunities while simultaneously becoming repellent to drama and chaos. Peace attracts peace. Strength attracts strength. Clarity attracts clarity. Jennifer developed daily practices that built her peace immunity. Every morning, she spent 15 minutes in complete silence before checking her phone or talking to anyone. This was her peace deposit for the day. She stopped consuming news that filled her mind with problems she could not solve. She started reading books that strengthened her mind instead of social media posts that scattered her thoughts. She learned to respond instead of react. When someone brought drama to her, Jennifer would take a deep breath and ask herself one question. Is engaging with this going to add value to my life or drain value from my life? If the answer was drain, she politely declined to participate. If the answer was add value, she engaged fully. Jennifer discovered that peaceful people do not attract fewer problems. They attract better problems. Instead of dealing with manufactured drama and artificial emergencies, she started dealing with challenges that actually moved her life forward. Instead of spending her mental energy on gossip and complaints, she used it to plan and build and create. The most powerful realization Jennifer had was this: when you protect your peace, you serve others better, not worse. Her children got a better mother. Her real friends got a better friend. Her employer got a better employee. Her community got a better neighbor. By refusing to scatter her peace to everyone who demanded it, she was able to give her best to the people and purposes that truly mattered. Jennifer had become what I call a peace millionaire. Someone who has accumulated so much inner tranquility that they can afford to be generous with it when it truly serves a purpose. She had learned that protecting your peace is not selfish, it is strategic. It is not cold, it is wise. It is not uncaring, it is the most caring thing you can do. Because you cannot give what you do not have. Peace protected becomes peace multiplied. And peace multiplied becomes a life transformed. 3 years after Jennifer transformed her life by protecting her peace, something happened that she never expected. Her transformation began to transform others. Her teenage daughter, who had watched her mother change from a stressed, overwhelmed woman into a calm, confident leader, began applying the same principles in her own life. Instead of getting caught up in high school drama and peer pressure, she started protecting her own peace, like she had watched her mother do. When her daughter's friends would try to pull her into gossip about other students, she would say, "I'm not available for that conversation, but I'm available if you want to talk about something positive." When social media started making her feel anxious and inadequate, she deleted the apps that stole her peace and kept the ones that added value to her life. Her grades improved, her friendships became healthier, and her confidence grew stronger. But the ripple effect did not stop there. Jennifer's sister, who had initially been upset about Jennifer's new boundaries, began to notice something. The problems she had been complaining about for years were still the same problems. She had been calling Jennifer every night for emotional support, but nothing in her life had actually improved. She realized that Jennifer had not abandoned her. Jennifer had stopped enabling her to stay stuck in the same patterns. For the first time in years, Jennifer's sister made a real decision to change her situation instead of just talking about it. She enrolled in counseling, had honest conversations with her husband, and began taking responsibility for her own peace instead of expecting Jennifer to manage her emotions for her. Their relationship became stronger than it had ever been because it was now based on mutual respect rather than one-sided dependency. Jennifer's transformation at work was equally powerful. Her co-workers noticed that she had become the person everyone wanted on their team, not because she absorbed everyone's stress, but because she brought solutions instead of participating in problems. Her calm, focused energy influenced the entire office environment. People began coming to her not to dump their complaints, but to get her perspective on how to handle challenges effectively. When Jennifer was promoted to a supervisor, she implemented what she called peace protocols in her department. No gossip during work hours, no complaining without proposed solutions, no emergency meetings for non-emergencies. Her department became the most productive in the company, and other managers began asking her to share her leadership methods. The most remarkable change happened in Jennifer's neighborhood. She had always been known as the person people called when they needed help, but now she was known as the person people called when they needed wisdom. Instead of being the neighborhood drama magnet, she became the neighborhood peace ambassador. When conflicts arose between neighbors, they would ask Jennifer to mediate because they trusted her calm, fair approach. When young mothers in the area felt overwhelmed, they would seek her advice on how to manage their stress and protect their peace while still being good mothers. Jennifer's commitment to protecting her own peace had given her the ability to help others find theirs. One evening, as Jennifer was walking through her neighborhood, she encountered a young woman named Lisa sitting on her front steps crying. Lisa had just moved to the area and was struggling with a recent divorce, a demanding job, and 2 small children. She looked exactly like Jennifer had looked 3 years earlier, overwhelmed, exhausted, and drowning in other people's expectations and demands. Jennifer sat down next to Lisa and shared her story. She told her about the night her daughter asked why she always seemed tired and worried. She explained how she had learned to build boundaries that protected without isolating. She described how protecting her peace had not made her selfish. It had made her more effective at helping others. But how do I start? Lisa asked. Everyone expects me to be available all the time. My family, my ex-husband, my boss, my friends, they all think they have the right to my attention whenever they want it. Jennifer smiled, remembering asking herself the same question. You start by understanding that your peace is not their property, she said. You start by recognizing that you cannot give what you do not have. You start by protecting your peace like it is the most valuable gold you own, because it is. Over the following months, Jennifer mentored Lisa through the same transformation she had experienced. Lisa learned to create boundaries, to distinguish between real emergencies and manufactured drama, to respond instead of react. She watched as Lisa's life changed in the same ways hers had: better relationships, clearer thinking, increased opportunities, and deeper satisfaction. But Jennifer also learned something profound through mentoring Lisa. When you protect your peace and use it wisely, you become capable of guiding others toward their own peace. You become a peace multiplier in the world. Your protected peace does not just transform your own life. It becomes a gift you can offer to others who are ready to receive it. This is your calling. This is your responsibility. This is your opportunity. You are not just responsible for protecting your own peace. You are responsible for becoming the kind of person whose protected peace serves as an example and an inspiration to others. Your peace, when properly guarded and wisely used, becomes a legacy that outlasts your lifetime. Every person whose life you touch with your protected peace will touch others. Every person who learns from your example will become an example to others. The peace you protect today becomes the foundation for generations of peaceful living that you may never see, but will definitely impact. So here is my challenge to you. Stop giving your peace away like loose change. Stop treating your tranquility like it has no value. Stop allowing people who pay no price for your peace to consume it freely. Your peace is gold, and gold must be protected, invested wisely, and shared strategically. Make the decision right now to become a guardian of your own peace. Create boundaries that protect what matters most. Learn to be unavailable for drama, but available for progress. Understand that protecting your peace is not selfish, it is strategic. It is not cold, it is wise. It is not uncaring, it is the most caring thing you can do for everyone in your life. Your peace is your responsibility. Your peace is your power. Your peace is your gift to the world. Protect it like it is gold, because it is more valuable than gold. Protect it like it is your most precious possession, because it is. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. The world needs more people who understand the value of protected peace. The world needs more peace guardians. The world needs you to be a peaceful warrior. Your time starts now.